To order. My agenda is swapped somewhere. I got it right here. Got my handy dandy notebook. We call the Public Facilities and Committee meeting to order. Monday, August 18th. Mr. Lawson, of course, ran long, so we are starting at 3:45.
All my fault.
If everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we do meet the statement of compliance with FOIA. Sarah, we're good to go?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. If I could have a motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
I'll make that a motion.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Any objection? The agenda will be approved with no objection. We move on to number 5, the approval of minutes from June 16th, 2025. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. Tab, everything was good to go on it?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read those.
That's the first.
Sorry.
Any objection for the minutes? All right, and I see no objection. We will move on to public comment period. I do not have anybody on my list. Is there anybody else that did not sign up that would like to speak?
So sad.
I think everybody left, but just staff. You guys are sticking around.
Zell
We will-
is not working.
You are unmuted, Mr. Passman.
Can you hear us, Joe?
Yes, I can.
We can hear you.
We will close the public comment period and move on to the Assistant County Administrator report. We'll start off with Jared. How you doing today, bud?
Great. How are y'all?
Fantastic.
Thank you. We just have a couple quick reports, and then Palmetto Breeze has an update they'd like to provide to you. 2 staff reports. First will be stormwater. I'll ask Taylor to come, and then Chuck and Robert will give an update on some capital projects. So stormwater, hopefully everybody knows. Come on up, Taylor. Taylor, our stormwater manager. If you don't, Taylor Brewer. We've had a lot of rain, so she'll speak to that, some of the projects that we have, how projects come about, just high level update as far as stormwater utility enterprise. And then also it's current events is what's going on with the tax run that stormwater has a large part at the very beginning of the tax run, and she'll give you an update and our part in that. So with that, Taylor, if you can give them the information.
Thank you, Jared. Good afternoon, committee and council members. Thank you for having me here this afternoon. I'll have to say this is a very aptly timed presentation with all the rain that we've had in the past 3 weeks. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm very passionate about stormwater, and if I get my job right, you will be too soon.
He's trying to reconnect.
Yeah,
You're back on.
Mute.
okay.
Turn them off.
I think you're back on,
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
you're back.
You are.
Yes, she is. Okay.
but we can't hear you, but we can see you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and
Well, it's
clear.
a start.
Are we all good?
Go ahead.
The whole building's internet went out.
Oh, no.
That's great.
Well, on a happy note, I'd like to highlight a fun stormwater project that's upcoming. It's a water quality project called Arthur Horn Wetlands Restoration. This is a 17-acre wetlands in the Port Royal area. Our main goal is to restore stormwater function and reduce flooding, but also this area can dual as an ecological asset by providing habitat and biodiversity. I'm very excited to say we're partnering with Ducks Unlimited to explore the possibility of certifying this wetland as a duck impoundment. This project would mirror projects such as Crystal Lake and Cypress Wetlands that would offer beautiful amenity to communities. That's just something to look forward to. We're currently in the design process, and we are working with City of Beaufort and Port Royal to make that possibility come true and to explore connectivity possibilities to the Spanish Moss Trail.
And it used to be a park.
It did, yes, it did. So a little bit of bad with the rain and maintenance, and a little bit good with some upcoming projects. Does anybody have any questions on anything stormwater?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I think you're already aware, I've had numerous phone calls coming in from Ladies Island, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up. It seems like there's some maintenance issues out there that have not been addressed in quite some time with ditch drainage in rural ponds in particular. I know the state last year came out to Sands Point Road and did some cleaning on those ditches, but I think the county side on Ladies Island needs some attention out there. And I know there's some bigger projects that are being addressed and looked at right now, so thank you.
Yes, sir, and thank you for that comment. We have actively been aware of the issues in that area with 2 specific residents that we've been in touch with. There's no easy fixes, long story short. Last Monday, after all the rain, we did have crews go out with a 6-inch pump prepared to pump down 2 different yards, but there was nowhere to pump the water to without inundating other people, unfortunately. We do have crews out performing what maintenance we can, and we're coordinating with DOT to continue to monitor the situation. But we are also looking into some large-scale creative options, we'll say, for future projects. We're talking, $1 million project, but we are looking down the road to hopefully resolve some of those problems.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
So Taylor, do you have a priority list of stormwater projects? Because obviously, my district really doesn't have it in 6 but we have a lot of issues. Obviously, Gerald, York, David, Dallas, Mr. Weeds. Do you have a priority list of which ones? Obviously, money is limited, so we have priorities.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. And that's one of the aims of the drainage studies is to cover the entirety of Beaufort County and kind of create a priority list of red, yellow, green projects that, the red being the most pertinent that need to happen the most quick, and then leading down in priority level from there. We have probably 2 or 3 more drainage studies to go before we can complete the entire county. But at that time, hopefully we will have projects in line to upgrade most of the failing infrastructure in the county.
And that would be shared with council, so like when Mr. Bartholomew has a person ask a question, he would know where they are on the priority list.
Absolutely, yes, we can do that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Just quickly,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Taylor, I've heard your name, but it's my first time meeting you, I think, so it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, nice to be here.
I'm on St. Helens, so stormwater, you talked about that earlier, about the study that was done, and it was a great study, but it also talked about maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just assuming that you're doing a lot of maintenance work on St. Helens as far as making sure ditches are clean, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I'm gonna raise this question here because in the Burton area, this is, I don't know who district this is, probably Ms. Howard or Mr. Passman, but I'm not too sure. There was a church at a funeral on Saturday, and after that downpour, I was told that there was at least 2 feet of water in that churchyard. I don't know, that's private property, whether there's some kind of outflow fall in that area for that, but the name of the church is the Burton Church, New Church of Christ. So let's put that down. It's off of what's that, that's 278? 280. Parasol Gate, exactly. It's off of there. And I'm assuming that because the state elevated that main highway, all that water is full. It's like a boulder. I don't know whether there's something that can be done, but I'm just gonna throw that out to you. And that's not my district, but I'm gonna throw that out to you. If you wanna look at it, if you don't wanna look at it, I'm gonna leave it to another council member.
No, absolutely. I do appreciate that. And I think we've looked at that situation. And it's the same one I'm thinking of. There's a drainage ditch that runs down the left side of the property that feeds state drainage. And I talked to a DOT. They do have a box that's clogged on that corner. However, if they open that up, it might inundate the church more. So he's going to check the other end of that drainage system. It will be on the responsibility of the church to clear that out, but we're working with them and DOT to kind of figure out what solutions can be done. So I will double check to make sure that we got word back to the church.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
To follow up on that, if I may.
Yes, sir.
After the heavy rains yesterday and the day before, I took some pictures of Rivers Hill Road
Yes, sir.
and County Shed Road, the flooding in that area, and actually the outfall ditch that runs along County Shed Road is SCDOT maintained. So I sent the pictures and requests into the county administrator. So hopefully you all will be following up on that. as
Yes.
well as Pine Grove Road, also the ditches and the culverts need to be cleaned up.
Yes, sir. I will check Pine Grove, but county shed is a perpetual issue with us, but we are working with DOT to do what we can in that area.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Passman, you had a question?
Yes, 170 is a state road. One side is Beaufort County, one side is Jasper County or Hardyville. Since I pick up garbage once a month on 170, I have noticed that the Beaufort side is in pretty good shape. The other side of the road, that's Hardyville and Jasper County, is in serious need of something to do with cleaning out the drains that are clogged, branches, rocks, so on and so forth. Is that something that we collaborate with the state and or Jasper County and Hardyville to take care of?
We have regular coordination meetings with DOT, and so yes, we do coordinate with them in that way. But as far as Jasper and Hardyville, we reach out when necessary. So I can reach out to my stormwater contacts and let them know.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, and there's the 170, 278 that was clearly blocked again after the heavy rains, and we thought we had that fixed.
Yes, sir. I will take another look at that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. In her defense, I brought something up to her and she's like, we're already on it. Started 2 days ago.
That's what she told me.
They already done.
Good afternoon. How are y'all doing?
How are you?
Good. I think I've asked everyone how their weekend was, and everyone has been replying wet. So if that says anything. I'm going to make this fairly quick. We've got two parts to my presentation. The first part being a update on where we are with projects. And the second part, we're going to talk about the capital projects dashboard, which goes hand in hand. So I think that everyone here is probably most interested in the administration building. I keep getting questions on that. So we are moving along. The interior renovation to the council chambers is progressing. Things were coming a little slow with the lighting and design in there, but some of the changes that we had to make, but they are progressing, and we're hoping to be in there within 30 to 60 days max. So it is progressing very quickly. So we'll, the trim is going up as we speak. Back wall is up. So it's quite interesting. I didn't provide any pictures today. I thought it'd be a nice surprise once it gets stained. So, but yeah. So that's coming along good. There are several phases to that. That's not complete completion. That is, hopefully to get in there on the administration side. We still have the main hall and planning to go to after that. So, and again, that was our phased approach, is to get the administration side active first. Arthur Horn parking lot next to us here. We've had some complications, and that was a little delayed as well with rain, but that is progressing, and they're anticipating September 15th to September 18th is the completion date on that. We found a lot of remnants. I think I've updated in the past of the old Robert Small School still under the ground there. So we had quite an interesting bit of changes for some of the structures that were there. So Agnes Major and Wesley Felix community centers are progressing. We're at 85% on the design. They have ordered the structures, the steel buildings, and that is a 16 to 18 week process. But in the meantime, we're finishing up permitting and would begin site work, of course, before the materials would get on site actually. WT Washington Community Center is, we are at the out phase with that. So getting the CO on it, it looks absolutely fantastic. Maybe next month I'll bring in some pictures. It is a drastic change as to what it was. So a beautiful, beautiful community center now. Can't wait to unveil that to you guys. It is a drastic change, and I think is going to be a definite benefit to that community. I had been out there prior to them shutting it down, and the number of seniors that were out there, I was absolutely amazed at the amount of people that they had attending the programs. And I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic when we reopen. And that should be within the next few weeks here. Scott Community Center is nearing construction. We are still working with the contractor to get started. Oh, no, that's the second part. Yeah, that's all right. We anticipate going to construction at Scott. We've already cleaned it out within the next few weeks. So once we get the contractor on site, we'll be moving that one. That was fairly minor, should not take too long. It's $140,000 renovation, mainly flooring, remodeling the kitchen, and redoing some of the ceiling tiles and things like that. Station 39 at Sun City is still progressing. Everything is going along. We're in the permitting phase. The construction sign is up there, and hope that helps everyone and alleviates any questions that the HOA may have for that. So
The only thing is the sign is not at the location. So people are like, what do you mean? So here's where it's supposed to go?
where did they?
Here's the gardens, here's the sign. I don't know why they did it. Maybe so they don't disrupt when they start doing this stuff, they don't have to move it.
So it was off to the side.
It's not in the right place.
Just wondering if you had something to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah.
They want me.
Well, I wasn't there when they did that, but yeah.
They specifically put the sign where they did so that they didn't have to move it several times while they're doing land disturbance.
Charles Lynn Brown Community Center, the gymnasium conversion renovation is fully underway right now. They've been demoing the old floors. Everything has been demoed out. Moving along very quickly. All of the materials are going to be on site shortly. They're going to be installing the new basketball goals within the next few weeks here, and then the flooring will go down once they've completed that. And then the last part would be, of course, the bleachers.
I'd like to share, Mitch Mitchell on council. He called me Friday and said to tell everyone, thank you that's involved with that. He's ecstatic that all the changes are being done there. So
I think it's going to be another fantastic project. We've got a few others. Bluffton Recreation Center, currently waiting still on some plans from in regards to the elevator. That was one of the key components for that building redesign. They've had some issues with the engineering. The engineers are working through to make sure the elevator shaft, it's a very unique designed building, and putting in an elevator, there was an existing single manned elevator, but widening it was quite a task. So they're working with the elevator contractor to make sure all of that is appropriate. And once we get those finalized plans, they'll be ready for construction. And let's see, we've got Bluffton Pool is open. We have had some issues. We'll update you on that. They've had some issues with the HVAC system that has been reoccurring, and they are working closely with the contractor to keep up with that on a daily basis. They believe it's a power issue, and they're working through it. So there have been times where the system will shut down. Typically during one of these storms, it's been kind of the regular. So it's either a flicker that they're getting and it's causing a shutdown. But I have been told that the contractor has been on site and they are working through it weekly. So we are in constant communication with Parks and Rec, and if there are any issues, again, we are typically there within the same day or next day to get the system back up and running. And again, once that is completed and resolved, we will certainly give you guys an update. Beaufort County Courthouse has begun design. So that's a $1 million project that we're looking at for renovating the lobby and several of the family courtrooms over there. Design process just kicked off this week, and that's anticipated to take about 3 to 4 months through the design process, and then we'll get it out to bid towards the end of this fiscal year. And that's it for right now. Any questions on project updates? Any other?
Mr. Chair. Quick question about the courthouse renovations. Has Jerry been kept in the loop as far as now?
Absolutely.
And has any of the court staff been able to give their opinion about things that need to be done over there, or is this just a design?
Absolutely. So really it's mainly a lot of the woodwork is getting refreshed. Yeah. So it's not really any significant changes. The family court we're looking at some alternate designs for the for basically the witness stand, and it's just a cramped area. It's not ADA accessible right now. It's really it's a hard design, basically, where you have several steps, and they've had several people that have actually tripped going upstairs.
I've actually been in court and one of my witnesses tripped.
Yes.
There. So, but Yeah, I'd definitely make sure you talk to the judges back there and the folks that use it every day to make sure the design fits their needs for what they need.
Absolutely, yes, we are. And Ms. Jerry has been absolutely 100% involved. And yes, she is the first line of where we start and where we end. So
Thanks. I just want to make sure.
absolutely. What I'd like to do is I'd like to show you what we've also been working on. And this was part of our goal as capital projects is to get information out to you, staff, and the public. And this is our capital project management dashboard that is now available on the capital project management page. This went live today. This is the link showing to the GIS map. We have worked closely with the GIS department over the last few weeks to get this up and running in a design that is going to be simple to use, but provide information to you guys and the public for all of the projects that we will be managing. Again, over on the left side, you'll see that there's filters there and a list of projects. In the middle, of course, shows mapping location, and then most importantly, on the right side, gives a description of the project, the amount budgeted, expended, again, and also updates that are done every 2 weeks to, let's say, a month at the worst. But what you do get to see is that, and I'm going to show you here, this is that down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the latest update. In other words, if you see the date last updated down in the corner there, for that one was 8/11. And that's going to be important for providing you accurate information. And what's nice about this is that you can have a gallery of pictures for the project, plans. This is station 39, so you will have access to all of this information. Again, renderings, floor plans. This is the Arthur Horn parking lot.
So any active project, they'll be able to go through, click in, and it'll pull it up and all the info.
That's correct. This is a view of council chambers.
Whoa.
That's just a side shot there going into the ECR.
Purposely have not gone in that building once since you guys started it. Let's just see the whole thing flip.
It's going to be quite interesting. So it is a complete redesign of the dais and the back area, and it is going to be certainly more accessible, a lot more space behind you guys now.
Oh, behind us.
Yes, the entire curved wall has been taken out.
It's good.
The windows are up there.
Just enjoy the moment, guys.
I'm not going to show you a picture, but it is drastically different.
I just want to make sure windows aren't at my back.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
No windows.
Just let it happen.
No windows. And again, this just shows what's important over there is, again, the information that you guys would be looking for. Again, the budgeted amount, again, whether it's on track, start and end dates. Certainly the phase is very important. A lot of people, understanding that planning, design, permitting can take quite a while, and seeing that where a project is in that phase is very important. And this, again, can be accessed through the Capital Projects Management webpage on Beaufort County. And there's a great link that Josh Riley put up for us today, and that's the URL there. Any questions?
Just quickly, so I'll be able to go in there and look at for the public works building and see the phase where it is right now.
As of right this moment, and I will tell you, we are actively adding projects. So not every project is up there right this moment. And what this does, though, is that this does feed into our project management software. But because it is a separate system, we have to import the projects in, and we are doing that one at a time to make sure that the project status, we don't want to give you anything that is not up to date. So we are actively importing those along with the images as we speak. In fact, this week is my staff's goal to get all of those projects up there. So Public Works, as I understand it, there are several options on the board. We are still basically in planning. We have kind of put LS3P on hold for the moment until we have a plan to move forward with what we would do with fleet management. So that is kind of the key to the whole process. We have got to find a solution that would allow fleet to move out and not interrupt their operations. And again, we have tasked several different people. Mr. Robinson is looking for some solutions for fleet management as we speak. And right now we're kind of on hold, but in the planning phase.
When I came on council, that was one of the critical needs at the time, public works, and what you're telling me is not as critical as
It's a critical path. It's just that we are working through where we can go with it. So it's important to find a solution to the fleet facility. And there are several issues that involves. Again, we have on-site. We're looking at several different solutions that include on-site, moving into the Baylor building, possibly a solution that could include moving it to a different location. Again, and we're working through that. Mr. Robinson may be able to speak to a little more as to what he's been able to accomplish.
I would say we want to defer that to another meeting. I mean, there's a lot of kind of moving parts on that. So that'll be a more full discussion on what we're going to do with Public Works.
Yes, sir.
Logan, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation on update on the capital project. Before we let you go, I just want to go back to the Ag major.
Yes, sir.
When can we anticipate shovel in the ground? There's nothing on the site except a basketball court and a playground, so.
We are, again, if you, let me give you we are at 85% on design, and we should be within the next 3 to 6 months looking at breaking ground. They're going to work simultaneously. They would on both buildings. But again, we are 16 to 18 weeks out before the steel would even get on site, before the structure itself. So they will break ground prior to that, but I do not have a schedule from the contractor as specifically how soon before that they would start. Okay?
Thank you.
And we're a year, once that happens, we are approximately a year out from construction. Anticipated completion is September of next year is when we were looking at for total completion, anticipated.
Good. Mr. Chairman, don't look at me. I like the website, it's great. I do have a question, animal services, we're putting turf. I thought turf and dogs don't, artificial turf and dogs don't mix as far as smell.
Actually, it does very well.
It does this one in particular?
Yeah. So they have artificial turf that is rated for animals that allows the urine to pass through, and it makes it also easier to pick up the messes as well. One of the issues that they've been having with animal control out there is they actually have rocks in the play yards. Some of the animals have been eating the rocks.
Oh, no.
Yes. So, you know, if you've had any golden retrievers or any animals that like to pick up small objects. Mm-hmm. So they've been eating the rocks, and they've had to have surgery to remove the rocks.
I mean, my dog.
So it is an interesting, when I heard it myself, I had some concerns, but it is actually a very good process. We met with the contractor that we're looking to use, and around the edges, it is all basically nailed down so that they can't pull up the turf or anything like that. I think it's a much better solution than what is there. If I could show you some pictures, basically they have actually dug out the rocks in areas and actually made holes under the fence, and it's that will be prevented with this. So they are really excited about getting that installed, and it's going to be a much better solution than the rocks.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do we have any more? Okay. Chuck, anything for Public Works?
No, sir, we're not.
Good. All right, we will move on to the Palmetto Breeze update then. Mr. Sullivan, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you all for giving us a little bit of time here. I'm hoping it's a regular thing. We need to communicate more with all 9 of our partners, and Beaufort County is by far the largest. And so we have prioritized staying in touch with the county, and I'm hoping that this committee is a great way to do that. So if it pleases the committee, I would love to have a few minutes on every agenda, come here and give this basic kind of outline of an update. If you guys see something that you would like us to report on, please do. We rely very heavily on the county and our partnership here. So I divided my report basically by some kind of major categories. Ridership report first. Obviously, if we don't have riders, it really doesn't matter what we're doing. Our commuter services, very strong seasonal ridership. It's the strongest I've seen in about 4 years. So post-COVID, I think this is our highest ridership numbers. A lot of those are coming out of Hampton and Allendale counties into Beaufort County. The demand response services and the coordinated services, they are strapped. We have far more requests for those on-demand services than we can fulfill. So we prioritize with medical, and then next level is grocery, and the third level is to and from work. So there's a huge growing demand for that. Our Breeze Trolley, the seasonal service in Hilton Head, started off awesome. April was very, very strong. May was pretty much on par. June, July, very good. End of July here in August, I suspect part of it's weather, part of it is a lower occupancy in Hilton Head. I can't get my finger around it or my hands around it just yet. We should be basically on par with the same ridership there as last year. Our Bluffton Breeze weekday service is improving slowly. It is not as fast as we wish it would, but we are seeing more and more folks rely on that on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. And then starting tomorrow, you'll start seeing the USCB Sand Shark Shuttle, which we have under a separate contract agreement with the university. So that this year has some pretty late night, actually for us, service into about 10:30, coming back from Bluffton over to Beaufort on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're gonna see how that works out with the university. On the safety side, most important thing we report on, and our performance is very strong. I've been in transit since the 1990s, and I believe it would be the envy of a lot of transit authorities. We're prepared for the hurricane season. We work very closely with the EOC. We even conducted an in-house drill in June to make sure that our phone systems, we've had turnover, make sure that I, as the new executive director, know what we're supposed to be doing. And that drill, it was kind of a 2-day drill because it took a little longer than we thought, but I'm very glad that we did that. It identified a few things we needed to do better. From a planning and growth standpoint, I know a lot of you have been involved with stakeholder support and input to our Northern Beaufort County Transit Master Plan. LCOG is really the sponsor of that study. We'll be the recipient of its results. And we're about 75%, maybe 80% through. Last week, we were testing some of the preferred alternative routes in Beaufort and Port Royal. Expect completion sometime in October. Likely recommendations will be fixed route services. The complimentary ADA paratransit that comes with that, which I think will be very, very busy, as well as some micro-transit zones, which we'll explain further. That's almost its own meeting. One to the north and west, and one over to the east to the islands. And basically how fast we can implement those new plans relies on funding. So the county, city of Beaufort, town of Port Royal. We are also seeing, have seen it for quite some time, increasing demand for more frequent connections between now Hardyville, Bluffton, Hilton Head, and back. So I think that's one of our next growth areas that we'll be looking very closely at. Our biggest challenges by far funding are revenue. We still have a deficiency on revenue for fiscal 26 that our board will be addressing at a special called meeting on Tuesday. So we are working diligently to find the remaining revenue we need to cover current expenses, meaning current services, the expenses to operate those. Expenses have gone up dramatically, but our support from the state and the Federal Transit Administration has kind of stayed steady. So that basically results in a gap on the local side. So we're working through that for fiscal 26, and then most importantly, setting the stage for anything that we would want to add in terms of growth, especially here up in Northern Beaufort County for fiscal 27. It sounds a little minute, but it's not to us. It is very difficult to recruit for skilled mechanics. It's too expensive to live near our facility in Bluffton. We've already raised our wage scales twice in the last 9 months. It's hard to recruit and it's hard to retain them. And on a more positive note, some of our recent accomplishments. So we achieved many years in a row now the GFOA Certificate of Excellence I myself was elected to the Board of Directors for the Transit Association of South Carolina, which we actually have our meeting tomorrow up in Myrtle Beach. We have our annual meeting this week. And we have a young driver. He was 18, now he's 19, who achieved his CDL. We assisted him, as did the Jasper County School District, assisted him with getting the training and the experience he needed. It's very unheard of to get your CDL at 18 and the passenger endorsement that we require. He was recognized with an article, a feature story in the Island Packet. That Island Packet article got the attention of Congresswoman Nancy Mace, and out of the blue, he got a letter from the Congresswoman. So we're celebrating that. In fact, Wednesday, he will be honored at our state association as the bus operator of the year. So we are very, very proud of that. And I think, to me, it's mostly about inspiring youth, right? Youth to take a slightly different career path than you hear all the time about going to college and getting that 4-year degree. So we're very excited for Deontay. He's a wonderful man, and can't wait to have the entire state association recognize him on Wednesday, as well as one of our other employees, long-term dispatcher Gail McTeer. She's being recognized for excellence in support staff. So we have 2 award winners at our state association. Very proud of that. So we'll have more to talk about that on Wednesday. And with that, I'll open up to any questions you might have.
Are there any questions?
Oh, I have a question. When do you think the LOCOG report will be finalized? So,
I think October. There's another round of public comment.
right.
So you'll be seeing some of that, which is basically public comment on the preferred alternatives. And we want to hear, because there's a lot of moving parts, and we see what we see, but you all see what you see.
Right.
So please feel free to comment on those plans.
Okay. Thank you.
One, thank you for being here.
Sure.
Communication is great.
Yeah.
And needed. Can you ballpark, if you don't mind, what the shortfall may be in the funding?
What we have done is we built our original budget as is. So looking at real true expenses, that was in May, presented to the board, and we actually, as staff, asked them not to approve it as we normally would, because we knew it was way too high. It was just way too high. We wanted to present it to them in that function, in that manner, because we wanted them to see really the dramatic increase in our costs. So what we've done since then, and was presented last July 30th at our most recent regular board meeting, was a budget where we got more aggressive with our assumptions. We don't like getting aggressive with fuel, for example, because one thing goes wrong and your fuel's out of whack, and we can't stop using fuel. So those kinds of things. Deferred maintenance causes overtime, causes all sorts of ripple effects, those kinds of things. So the variables, we're monitoring the heck out of the variables while we're on a continuing budget. But anyway, we presented to them a budget that brought that deficit down to $360,000. So at $360,000, if we cannot find that money, the board at some point, whether it's here in August or at our September meeting or another special meeting, we will have to start talking about service reductions. It's basically what transit authorities have to do when their expenses exceed their revenue.
Understand. And last thing, going off that, you mentioned mechanics. Do you have your own repair facility, maintenance shop, or are you using our fleet service?
We do. I know that you all took action to allow insourcing. I call it insourcing. So we're going to pursue that. We're going to pursue every angle we can to do that. The issue with our facility is that we are in Bluffton, not far from the rec center, and the fuel island there. We're right there, co-located. It's very convenient, but cost of living there is very difficult.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions if nobody else does. You kept saying things were growing, things were improving, but we didn't actually get any numbers. So how many, I guess, my biggest questions I'm going to ask is how many trips have we taken and how many riders total has it been?
The average number that we use for total trips, all trips combined, is about 220,000 annually. We report ridership at our biannual meetings. So our board packets have that information. And we can share, obviously, it's all public information. We can share all that. So we collect it monthly. And so we can give you any permutation of data, at least in monthly increments that you want. And that's by route. We don't do it by stop, which I wish we did, maybe someday, but at least by route and by type of service, we can do this breakdowns.
So do we know how many rides so far this year?
Uh,
Or how many trips so far this year? So we can
Year or calendar. I can get
pick
you,
either one.
I can get you anything through the end of July.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be nice. I mean, the biggest question is, what are we spending per rider?
Yeah, yeah. No, I look at that too.
That's the ultimate
Yeah.
cost.
Our demand response trips are significantly more expensive than other trips because of it's more of a one-on-one or two-on-one type service. So per passenger, those costs are, and that's true across the industry. They're all very expensive. You want more people to ride your fixed route services, anything you can coordinate and share rides, it brings those operating costs down.
So I guess that would be my only thing, if we could get those numbers from last year compared to this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what is our cost that we pay currently?
The commitment for fiscal 26 is roughly about $717,000. That's the same commitment as fiscal 25.
Perfect.
Did all the municipalities meet their same, amount from 2020?
Technically, no. Allendale County actually dropped about 11,000, but the reason for that is separate. It's different. This kind of odd relationship with their county office on aging, where we were requesting an additional $11,000 from them and then essentially paying them that 11,000 back. It really made 0 sense. So we ended that at the end of the last fiscal year. So as a result of that, we reduced our request to them to come down $11,000.
I was talking about our municipalities.
Yes. Beaufort, City of Beaufort, Town of Port Royal are brand new partners for the Northern Beaufort area. The only thing we asked for from the two of them as well as the county was monies to match a capital grant, because we are not ready to operate yet, but we know we're going to need vehicles. So we wanted to start the ball rolling with capital monies in a separate account where once we know what we're going to be rolling, we can start to order them with confidence that we have that money. The city and the town both agreed 100% of what we asked for. And so we're carving out of the county's portion, that 717, about 105 of that goes toward a new service area to acquire capital. Town of Hilton Head and Town of Bluffton both increased, significant percentages increased based on our need. So kudos to them, they came to the table. It wasn't, neither one was exactly what we asked, but it was a lot more. So it gave us more clarity as we went to rework the budget. We kind of knew what we were playing with. Our anticipated revenue expectations are very challenging because you've got federal grant monies the federal grant monies are timed October to September. You've got state that's timed like ours, same fiscal calendar as the county and us. And we're beholden to nine partners for our local match portions. And you all and those others are all deciding their budget at the same time as we are. So we really don't know what our local match monies look like until the end of June.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all.
Appreciate it. All right. Now we will move on to some of our action items here. Agenda item number 1, recommend a contract award to Wood and Partners for planning, permitting, and construction oversight of Bermuda Bluff. Hey, how are you?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that as a motion if I could.
That would be awesome. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Ms. Brown. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, committee. Today, I am here to present a contract award to Wooden Partners for planning, permitting, and construction oversight services at Bermuda Bluff. The negotiated fee was $236,850. This is an all-encompassing fee. So instead of breaking out the planning, the permitting, and the construction oversight, it's all one, which is going to be a design bid build project. The reason we are doing that is because Bermuda Bluff was awarded, County Council approved in December of 2024, the local ATAX grant for $650,000 for construction of Bermuda Bluff improvements. And so that local tax award comes with a 2-year time limit. So it is going to be a condensed planning period of time. We do have that money in the local tax grant application or approved application for construction only, and the application itself stated that The planning would come from the Passive Parks Capital Fund, and so that's why the Fund 4502 will pay for the Wooden Partners contract, and then when we bid the project for construction, then the tax grant goes solely for the construction of the project. And I think I hit all the key points unless there's any questions.
Any questions?
I have one, I'm sorry, York, did you have one? I noticed, I went back, the purchase was actually about 20 acres, right, for the property?
Yes, so the county already owned 1 acre of the bluff itself, which was just a bluff fishing point. It has severely eroded. And so when we purchased the approximate 20 to 22 acres surrounding it, I just thought it'd be a good idea to encompass it all together and make the access the access road more accessible. There's some dips that hold water, do some improvements to the bank to shore up the bank so it stops eroding into the road, improve some parking, put a porta potty out there, a couple picnic tables, a small trail, just some basic stuff. We will have a meeting on site when we come up with a draft plan, and then we'll have a public workshop on property to get input and feedback.
And I guess my question, this contract covers 5 acres of that 20, right? Is there a plan for the additional 15 acres, or is that being left?
It is being left open space. There is a little bit of a tidal influence that separates them into a couple different islands. And so the one that's going to be the most accessible is the 4 acres right up against the existing 1 acre.
Thank you.
That was my question, because I thought it was more acreage than the 5 acres. But I do agree that leaving that the remaining 18 acres or so alone, that's just gonna enhance that area and still compete with wildlife. Yeah.
Yep.
Can this be approved with no objection? And I see no objection. Thank you very much. On to the next one. Recommend to approve TBE work authorization 2119-2501 for Beaufort Executive Airport partial parallel taxiway. John, we can spend some time together. We have a motion.
Short time today.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That was close. We'll work with it. Call it even.
I'll second.
And the second, thank you. Floor is yours.
All right, thank you. I won't hit you with a 16 or whatever we did last time.
We blew through those 16 though.
We did, but these are all fallout of those earlier ones. So you approve those, some of those grants are coming in now from the FAA. And so now we're ready to execute the work authorization so we can actually do the work out there. So this one is the design and bidding for that partial parallel taxiway safety project out of Beaufort Executive. That grant is scheduled to come in the next couple of days. So we'd ask you to approve this contingent upon receipt of that federal grant. But it is, as it states on here, it's funded by that grant. There's a small local portion we've got funded, and then there's the state grant that we received a couple of months ago as well.
John, I think there's 2 or 3 that's the case, right? The grants are supposed to be coming in this week.
There are 2, this and one other.
This and one other. And then we still have to vote on county council, so this just keeps the ball rolling, just like the grants before the grants came in last month. Do we have any objection? And I see no objection. This will be also approved. Move on to C. Recommendation to approve work authorization to TBE for construction administration at the Hilton Head Island Airport for the airfield drainage improvements. Motion to put that on the floor.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded as well. And you can see the breakdown of this is paid for out of grants. Is this the second one that we're waiting on?
This one, we've got the grants in place. So this is ready to go. And so you can go ahead and approve this and we'll get to work.
And this is just going to be drainage actually on the airfield itself.
So what would happen here is the classification of the airport changed. So the drainage system is in place, but it previously was located outside of the runway safety area. Those dimensions changed. It's now within the runway safety area. Now the standards have changed. So we're going in and retrofitting drainage structures that we have, beefing them up, and that's what this project is for.
I'm glad they're the ones paying for this then. Yeah. Any objection for this approval?
Just a quick question,
Sir?
because you're talking about improving the drainage, what kind of impact is the flooding having on the runway right now with all these rain?
None.
None, okay.
It's good. It's interesting. So just out of curiosity, just my own mindset, the requirements, is that set by the FFA?
For the drainage?
Yeah.
We meet all local requirements. So all the stormwater requirements are local requirements. The structural requirements here and the geometry of the airport and those safety compliance standards are by the FAA. So they require it and then they fund it. So that was good.
That's why I was just about to ask. Perfect. Can this be done with no objection? All right, I see no objection. We'll move on to recommendation to approve a work authorization for TBE to prepare the environmental assessment for taxiway F runway object-free area project at Hilton Head Island Airport, $322,192.21. Do I have a motion to put this on the floor?
I'll make the motion for
Thank
this.
you, Tab. And a second
I'll second.
by Ms. Howard. And you can also see that breakdown, which, by the way, to our back office staff, I love the way you guys break that down. Thank you. That looks great.
So this is the second one that we would approve contingent upon receipt of that grant. This grant is due in early September is what our ADO manager is telling us. So it's coming. It's just the way the feds release them from Washington and then down to Atlanta and then down to us. So we do anticipate this coming in, but this is to cover the NEPA documents. Every project with federal funding has to have the required NEPA documents completed. And that's what this funds, is that planning portion prior to executing a project.
And this is funded fully by grants or the state.
That's correct. Feds in the state.
But any other questions for this one? No, we've talked about a lot of these in the last meetings. This can be approved with no objection. And I see no objection. This is also approved. On to E, recommendation to approve a resolution to accept the South Carolina Aviation Commission grant for Hilton Head Island Airport Administration Building Conceptual Design. A motion to put this on the floor.
Make that move. A second.
Seconded by Mr. Lawson. Thank you.
All right. This is as it states, a conceptual design phase for a new administration facility at the airport on Hilton Head Island. It's funded 100% by monies that we receive from the state each year as a commercial airport. And this will get us, through a concept design, and basically what we're going to do is consolidate where most of our staff is located at Hilton Head. We're kind of farmed out, and some of you have seen some of our office facilities down there, so we need to improve things and put everybody outside. This will take us outside the fence as well, so it'll be kind of what you would expect as an airport admin, a little bit more open to the public.
Nice. Any questions? Any objection? This will also be approved with no objection. John, it was a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to F, recommend award to ICE for the 2025 pavement evaluation and maintenance plan right at $355,294.50. I have a motion to put this on the floor.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Tab.
I'll second it.
Mr. Lawson, thank you. And Brian, how are you today?
Good, and y'all?
Doing well.
Good, so I think I got the rest of them except for the very last one, so we'll try to get through and get to Robert. But, so this is for our third pavement evaluation. We've done two previously. It's going to go to Infrastructure Consulting and Engineers was the selected contractor. So they're going to collect condition data on all the county and municipal roads and then come up with a continuation of our current maintenance plan. The contract value is $322,995. This includes an alternate for collecting sign data and inventory, which will be paid for by Public Works. That's $63,900. And then there will be an IGA and a couple items for municipal share of it, which is $26,060 that they'll pay for the collection of their roads. So this will be funded by the CTC with a 10% contingency, and this was presented to them in July.
Any questions?
Did I read you had 7 bids on this?
Yes, I think
I
we
think
had
that's
7.
great.
Yeah, that's the most we've ever had.
It's stellar, actually.
Yeah, the technology that goes into this has really come a long way in the last, I think we did the first one in 2017. So in the last 10 years, the technology has come tremendously with AI. It helps. There's a lot more contractors and suppliers that do this, so it's really taken off.
Any objection?
No.
This will also be approved with no objection. Recommendation of award to Sandhill LS Construction for Alljoy Sideway Project in the amount of $2,759,374.20. I have a motion to put this always fund project on the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you for the second, Ms. Brown.
Okay. So this is the award of the construction of the Alljoy sidewalk to Sand Hill AOS Construction. It's 1.45 miles and 6 foot wide, going from Burnt Church to Thomas Lawton. The bid for this was $2,500,000 essentially. Will be funded out of the sales tax with a grant from the SCDOT TAP for about 1.2 million. This has a 10% contingency on it also. So the total with contingency is a little more than 2.7 million.
Any comments or discussion?
They got 2 bids.
Yes.
We go from 7 to 2.
Yes.
It's happening.
Mr. Chair, I do have a comment. I just want to put it on the record. I did receive some communication from our stormwater board, some members there. I don't see anybody present from there, but they had some concerns that were addressed or that maybe not were addressed. I just want to say that, have you all been in communication with the stormwater board about this?
Yeah, I know there was some concerns about pervious versus impervious. So that's something that has been discussed with the design team. And with this, it is not recognized by the DOT. They would not accept it for maintenance. At this point, if we went out and added pervious or redid it, we'd have to go rebid the project, go through redesign, maybe re-permit it. There is time constraints associated with the grant. And frankly, I'm not with the flooding conditions in Alljoy that are seen already. I'm not sure that pervious would even be an option, so.
But the concerns have been addressed and analyzed, and this found that this proposal was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we met all the guidelines by DOT, it's gone through all the permitting. So it's found that no adverse effects from the project, so.
Thank you.
I want to just follow up that obviously it's in my district and people have asked about pervious and non-pervious. And I've actually used pervious concrete before. It is not as strong as concrete. It is something that the edges deteriorate, roots grow up through it. Along the edges where there's grass on something like this, the grass goes in there. If you drive a heavy equipment over top of it, it cracks. It can actually rut where driveways are. It actually fills back in very quickly with sand, which again, the whole purpose of having it is so it absorbs water. It also, this is going to have grass on either side and to be able to filter. And obviously with the sidewalk, there is no contamination from cars and trucks. So again, there's nothing that we're worried about contamination wise as it's running off of the sidewalk. So the pervious concrete does not last as long as concrete. It actually has a lifespan of about 25 years. So I think pervious concrete, and again, I've used it in products like for parking lots where you have a concrete edge that supports it, where it doesn't have trees that can grow up through it, that you don't have cars turning as much on it, which then makes the top peel off, which then you get the deterioration that also causes issues with wheelchairs and strollers because it becomes rough over time. And again, I think this would be a nightmare having this going across everyone's front yard, driveways connecting up. So again, I wanted to address that because again, there have been people that brought that up. And I've also had people say, I thought this was already approved 4, 5, 6 times ago. So here we are now back again. But again, people are excited about this. There is a small pocket of people that are still against the pathway in general. But again, I can promise you that the people I talk to, the people I represent, that a majority of people, super majority of people want this for a safety reason on Alljoy. So I'm glad to see it happening.
Everything you just said is absolutely correct, and all that goes into why the DOT doesn't accept it, so.
Any other discussion?
I have just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
When you were doing the stormwater analysis there and you are having that run down through the grass, Mark, are there going to be ditches there to run it away from that area?
You want to answer that? I can answer that. Yeah,
it's going to be a mixture of ditches and some pipe conveyances in some areas, do some water line relocations. So at the end of the project, the water should flow better than what it's doing now.
So if anything, that the drainage along that side of Alljoy is going to be improved compared to what it is currently.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
This be approved with no objection. This will be approved as well. All righty, moving on. Recommendation for approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Beaufort County and the town of Port Royal, town of Bluffton, town of Hilton Head, and the city of Beaufort for participation in the pavement evaluation and maintenance plan project. I have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Tab.
I'll second.
Mr. Glover.
And this is the IGA we talked about a couple of minutes ago. All four municipalities have committed to paying for their share to have their roads collected. So I think it's broken down by mileage. That's why you see the different fees there. Total is $26,060 to have, they will have their roads collected and rated, but they are not going to get, the same full evaluation that we're getting. It'll just be a rating. So.
Any discussion?
I have a question, please.
Ma'am.
I'm looking at the distribution there. Obviously, Hilton Head has more county-owned roads. Is somewhere along the line is our goal to be each municipality takes the roads and keeps them?
We would love to do that eventually.
I would love to do that too. I'm just throwing it out on the table.
And I know we brought it recently. The town of Port Royal has taken over several roads. So yeah, I mean, we would love for that to be a precedent. So.
I think it's helpful for residents so they don't call the city, like they don't call Port Royal and say there's potholes here and it's a county-owned road. And
We're a state-owned road.
residents don't want to hear state-owned, county-owned. They just want it fixed, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating for everybody.
What else? We'll go through that.
Just go out there a minute. And then,
Just throw it in there, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, just quickly, this is something that the county has been doing for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, we did our first one in 2017 and do it about every 4 years. So.
And so now the municipalities is basically joining us and doing it for them.
Yeah, I think they've seen the success that we've had with our program, so they're looking at doing it. And again, having their data collected, and a lot of what we heard was it's a couple $1,000s to really go in and make their program more robust, to have that data there to support it, so they know which roads they need to go spend the money on now versus 5 years from now. So in the end, it's a big cost savings.
That's something that the Transportation Committee valued. When they make their decisions, it's because of that study. So
yeah, the CTC has really led the way with this and been a huge proponent. They started this in 2017, did it again in 2021, and now we're on our third one. And they were really ahead of the curve. I mean, I think when we did the first one back then, we were the second or third county in the state that has done it. And now most of the CTCs have done it, a lot of different municipalities. So it has really grown in popularity, which again goes back to the point earlier about we had 7 bidders, which is very rare. So.
Okay.
this be approved with no objection?
Yes.
And I see no objection. This will also be approved. Recommendation of award to Wildwood Contractors for the construction of Depot Road Pathway Project in the amount of $552,531.54. Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Sure. Mr. Glover, the second. Any discussion? This be approved with no objection? It's approved. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Recommendation of a change order for the contract with WM Roba Incorporation for the construction of mast arms at the intersection of Bluffton Parkway and River Ridge, the amount of $124,402.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Seconded. This is over the intersection of River Ridge and Hampton Lakes, second entrance, right there in front of the school. This is where they're putting in the permanent light fixtures, because it's a temporary one currently. We have any discussion? This will be approved with no objection. This is approved with no objections. Okay, recommendation of award to Davis and Floyd Engineers for the Alljoy Boat Landing Parking Design, $544,500. We have a motion to put this on the floor.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Perfect. Do we want to do a presentation on this? Do we have any renderings on this already or no?
We don't. I would
just put it out for design.
Yeah, this is a design and permitting. I will say that this was the scope was based on Resolution 2025-04, which came from a January 7th public meeting in the Alljoy community with 6 or 7 bullet points that they wanted in the boat landing and things they didn't. So that's what the scope is based on.
Is this,
I would just say that we did promise them that we would have a meeting to discuss the next steps. Obviously, this, to award them this, and then there will be a community meeting for the community based strictly on that landing, and
Yes.
their pervious concrete is perfect.
Yep.
Or pervious surfaces and things like, so that would be huge.
Yeah.
And that's, we need to reassure them and just help the overall concept.
Yeah, and I want to say, Davis and Floyd, I think, included 2 public meetings in their scope. I know there's at least 1, and so they do have that planned in there. And this is what we're hoping to have the county's first envisioned sustainable project. And a big part of that is the planning process, and stakeholder meetings, public meetings is a big component of getting that verification. So yeah, there will definitely be public meetings associated with it. So,
Thank you.
is this including the property we purchased like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quickly, is this the same concept you may be using for Bermuda Bluff?
I'm sorry, for which one?
Bermuda Bluff?
Bermuda Bluff? This is separate than Bermuda Bluff.
I said the
Bermuda Bluff?
That's a pass.
concept.
Not a park?
Yeah, that's a park. So this will be similar to what we have done at Whitehall Boat Landing in the past with floating dock improvements, parking improvements. I think this one will have a fishing pier with a covered structure, and then additional restroom facility and parking for additional boats and vehicles. So it'll be similar to Whitehall.
There's a diagram in the package that, I don't know if we can display that or not.
You got on Bermuda Bluff, because that's not a boat. No. But I was dealing with the concept of environmental friendly.
Yeah, no, and that's what the whole envision part of it will be. So yes, it'll be it'll sustainable and resilient.
Oh, yeah, see, I'm not frozen.
Stay serious, Jack.
Sure, let's go.
Yeah, actually, I do have a question. How is this $500,000 to do this work?
We actually negotiate with them, and they reduce some of the contingency out of their fee. But this is all the design and permitting. It has a fishing pier associated with it. So there's structural marine design. There's design for a bathroom structure, and then all the civil and permitting that goes along with it. So
They're getting the permits too.
yes,
How is this worth $500,000?
we compared it to the previous projects to Whitehall, and we thought, the first fee was pretty reasonable, and then they came back and negotiated and took out some of their contingency. So yeah, with everything in there, it's been reviewed and it was found to be reasonable.
And this is no actual work for construction.
Just design and
Just
permitting.
design and
Yes.
$500,000.
Yep. There's a lot of
Parking lot
aspects.
and a fishing pier.
There's a lot of aspects that go to it between civil engineering, permitting, this is going to take state and federal permits to be able to do this, structural engineering. There's a lot that's going to go into this project and the next one as well, so,
And that was the lowest bid.
yes. Well, this was a qualification, so they were the one that was selected, and we negotiated the scope and then reviewed their fee, which again was found to be reasonable and in line with what we had done previously on other projects.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment that I am glad you're using Whitehall Boat Landing as the standard. So.
Yes, sir.
Do we have the plans left over from that?
It was the same design team that did Whitehall that's doing this one.
We're still paying $500,000.
Yes. Each site's different, has different title conditions, but
I get it.
Do we have a breakdown of what's design and what's permitting cost?
it was included in there. We can look and see.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
That's the one thing I did not print out.
Will we get a copy of that before county council meeting?
We can definitely add that in there.
That'll answer some of those questions beforehand. It still has to be approved by county council, correct?
Yes.
I didn't see it in the backup document before.
Okay, I'll make sure that that gets added prior to council.
Okay. Awesome. Do we have any other discussion? Do we need a roll call? Will this be done with no objection?
No objection, but
No objection.
Let's raise that as $500,000.
We bought a tree one time, remember that?
Oh, yeah, remember that.
All right, this will be approved with, I'll never let that go as long as I want to the council. I won't. It's always gonna come up. I love you guys. So be approved with no objection, and I see no objection.
I will say on the next one, they have engineering and permitting included in one fee in their proposal. So we can see if we can get that broken down for you.
Okay. So, all right, the next one is recommendation of awards Davis and Ford engineers for Wimby Creek Pier Design, $436,700. Sure, David's gonna be the one to motion this one. No, can I have a motion then?
So, motion.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson, seconded by Mr. Dawson. Same concept, they're doing the entire design, permitting, design, permitting with the state and local.
Yeah, all permitting, it'll be ready to go to bid once we are done with it. This was one that came to PFC last September, I believe. So the funding is available for it now, so we're moving forward. But I can get the breakdown for the permitting and engineering to have at the council meeting for you on this one as well.
Great.
Yep.
Any objection to move this to council?
I don't have no objection. Just a quick question. What's gonna happen to I guess the old barrier that's there? Has it been torn down already?
It has not been torn down already. It will be part of the construction. Whenever we go to construction, it will be torn down. Part of this is to update the demolition plans that were previously done. We're going to bring them up to code and standards. And then, so that's a small part of this fee. So yeah, the demolition will happen when we go to construction for the new plan.
And that pier is actually closed off now?
They closed it down last year when we brought it to you in, I think, September. So.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be obstinate when I say this, but we paid another engineer to tell us that it was bad. And now we're paying another engineer to design it. And this company's got about $1 million just right now in this meeting today.
Between these two projects.
Yeah, between the two projects. Would it be a terrible idea to look at doing it internally? Could we hire somebody to do this? This is a lot of money going out on these things. And it just seems like study after design.
Well, I think with projects like this takes a lot of very specialized engineering that we don't have on staff right now. I mean, this is going to take, most of this is a marine engineer. They have McSweeney engineers on their team for this, and that's what they do. I mean, they've done most of the marine work in the county for a lot of municipalities, and we just don't have that horsepower on staff to do a project of this size at this point. So I would love to eventually be able to do it in-house, but we can't right now.
That's what I'm saying. If we could hire somebody, it's $1 million we're spending today.
I would say most of the people that can,
my own staff.
most of the people that can do this type of work are working for a consultant already and would be very difficult to bring in staff.
Because they just got paid $1 million today.
You got to offer them.
Yeah, but, and don't get me wrong, I'm with you. It blows my mind how much, but they didn't get paid $1 million.
I know.
If more than half of this is going to permitting, that means the state's actually taking the money from us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just depends the breakdown. I guess my question is, Jared, when we do these projects and we come up with these estimates, like when we talked about Wimby originally, we threw out the number, it could cost this, or the one in Beaufort, that number that's given to us, does that include this?
It does. They included the design and construction in there. Obviously, there's inflationary costs that need to be put in there, but yeah, it does.
But the whole number you gave us a year ago, we're basically breaking that number up now and now moving forward in different steps.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mr. Sheriff, maybe the last thing, it just seems that we keep studying these things, designing these things, and nothing really ever gets completed. Well, I know it's not on you. I'm just saying in general, across all departments.
Well, I'll say the next item on here can hopefully let us get ahead of it. Alder is a little bit different, but with Wimby, I mean, we're to the point where the pier has been shut down. And so we're really behind the 8 ball on that one.
That goes to the thing too. Why are we letting things get to that condition before actually doing the maintenance on it? So we own the property.
And again, that will come to the next item that's on there. And, starting an inspection program so we can identify these issues before they get to this point where it needs a complete rebuild or something to that nature.
Like I said, I'm not trying to be rude.
I get it. So
I thought we had an inspection program. The man with the beard stands up and says.
they have been doing them kind of on a one-off. We do not have a broad across the board inspection program.
I thought he said like he did it every year or
They-
they 6 months.
They
Broad
do it
River
every year
specific,
for
yeah.
Broad River fishing
Only
pier.
trying to
because
what the
of-
data was at.
Yeah, because of the condition of it. Wimby Creek was one that they've done several times. But yeah, as far as every year inspection program, we do not currently have one, and that's what the next item will set up, so.
Could they look a little harder for a treasure chest of money under there?
Yeah, I mean, they gotta dive every one, so if they
Come
find
under there.
anything.
There you
so,
go.
yeah.
I was gonna say, Tab, I'm not that good of a swimmer, so I'm not doing it.
No.
Oh, somebody else does do it. I don't know.
Do you have any objection? This be done with no objection.
Same thing, slight irritation, but yes.
I can feel it. This will be approved with no objection. We'll move on to M, recommendation of award from McSweeney Engineers Marine Facilities Inspections, $373,069.12. A motion to put this on the floor?
So movement, Mr. Chairman.
That's two, Mr. Glenn. That's two.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Howard. I guess my question is this all marine facilities in Beaufort County or specific ones?
This is over 40 of them. So this is, won't say it's all because there are some like the Broad River Fishing Pier that are being done under separate contracts. But all the other boat landings, piers, docks that are not being inspected as part of another contract are included in this. This includes several box culverts as well, and I think there will be a small bridge that gets added. So the majority of the marine facilities in the county that we are aware of are in this.
And we'll be getting a full report breakdown of the,
Yes.
I guess, the status of every single one of them.
Yep, and so they'll inspect everything this year or this first year. And then I believe the ASCE standard is depending on the condition, it needs to be inspected every 4 years. If there's something, it's an advanced state of deterioration, they can bump that up to every year, every 2 years. But in general, it's every 4 years. So out of this will come a 5-year inspection program. So they can inspect this year, get us to a point where we're not spending as much on inspections every year. And it's going to come with a report of each structure with, these are issues that need to be addressed right now. These are issues that are coming up and can be addressed in the future. So we will have a better understanding of what, the annual maintenance cost is and need is for all these structures moving forward after this.
So this is basically gonna come with a $50 million shopping list on numbers.
Well, we hedged early enough, so we don't have that $50 million shop.
But sort of, because
Knew it was coming. He's like, well,
so what this will do, this will actually complement our boat landing master plan that we already have. The boat landing master plan didn't have subsurface conditions included in that. So this is going to marry up with that. And so we already have kind of a list of projects from that. There may be projects that are prioritized based on that. The overall goal, Mr. Bartholomew, to your point, is to get to a point where we have routine inspection, we have engineering design, but then we have construction projects and we have a sequence. So it will have a CIP that then we can say, okay, if you want to address your boat landings, this is how many millions we need per year to keep it at this rate. So similar to what we're doing with facilities, we'll have a full scale plan for our boat landings.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's important, especially if we're gonna try to maintain boat landings, and I don't know how we can close any boat landings in Beaufort. Basically, we need to be on top of that, which means that we got a plan for maintenance. And at some point in time, council opted to bury the head and move forward. And this right here will just put it in our face and say, hey, you either gonna make that commitment or not.
And I'll jump in to everyone's point is, I don't know if you saw that, but there's a press release that went out this week saying that I think starting Wednesday, the Factory Creek Pier was going to be closed for maintenance. So that actually came out of when we took that over, a inspection was done and it came up with a list of priorities that needed to be done to make that safe. That is not a full design by any means. So that is not a $500,000 engineering cost. That is a $10,000 engineering cost and then construction, whatever that maintenance is. And if it's something smaller, our public works staff can take care of it. So not every one of these projects that's inspected is going to have, $500,000 of design and then $2 million of construction. By starting these inspections, hopefully we can get through with just, a fraction of that for each of these.
And ultimately, what we're building, we talked about it already. You guys approved it with the maintenance plan on our roads. Our roads is probably our best maintenance plan that we have. And we like to create something similar to that with our boat landings. Basically, we're making a marine subsector inside of engineering, and then we'll have facilities and capital projects. So we're really spinning the flywheel right now. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of momentum, but
you're doing it for stormwater too.
yeah, stormwater as well. So
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Any objection to approve this?
No.
All right, this will also be approved.
Yep.
Move on to our final order of today. Recommendation to approve change order to Wilma's Pump and Tank Incorporation for IFB 061124, Camp St. Mary's demolition. My understanding, this is the demolition of the house that's on the property, correct?
This is actually the demolition of 3 structures, the remaining structures. I purposely left this one off my update since I knew we'd get into it a little bit here at the end. So as we know, this has been an ongoing project. We procured Wilma's Pump and Tank back in November of last year. They were set to demo Camp St. Mary's 7 buildings on the property in February, March of this year. Of course, in January, we had our snow event, and with ice and snow, which collapsed the church structure, which was already in a very dilapidated condition. That led to a unique situation in asbestos abatement when you have what they call a demo in place RACM. So that's regulated asbestos containing materials. So basically the whole building becomes contaminated with asbestos, and we have to demo in place, adds air quality monitoring and other things to the project. The project was then rescheduled for May. The contractor showed up and demoed several buildings on site, but when they got to the lodge, there was additional asbestos containing materials that were identified under the roof structure. So there's actually several layers to the roofing, and they identified a silver-based roofing material that we later did determine was containing asbestos. That created a unique situation with the lodge structure in that we would not be able to demo that in place. I'm sorry, we would not be able to demo the roof to abate it. We would again have to demo in place the RACM, and again, a change resulting in that. At the same time, the cafeteria structure was deemed unsafe for abatement as well, and is going to be a RACM as well. And that's where this change comes about. So we have 2 structures that became demo in place RACMs in addition to the church. We have worked with DHEC. We have met with them on site in regards to this to make sure that we're following all the proper procedures with the contractor. And we had a successful meeting with them to make sure that this was going to be the most appropriate method to remediate the asbestos. So with that being said, if this change order is approved, the contractor has agreed to be back on site within the next 2 weeks. He's actually, he's chomping at the bit. He won't be there tomorrow. So we have agreed that he will be on site within the next 2 weeks, and we should be out of there no later than the end of September, October 1st.
Any questions?
Long time coming.
Yes.
20,
We did have a very successful meeting with the Camp St. Mary's neighborhood last week, or week before, was it, I believe, and we went over a few different things with administration was there and some of council was there, and so they understand the process. It's not an easy process by any means. This is a long-term project, and so hopefully we can move forward after this with getting things underway.
Do you recall what the base contract amount is?
So the base contract amount was, let's see, we're at 149.2, so it was 135 if I remember correctly.
This could be approved yet?
That's correct. This can be approved at committee. That's why we're here. We started out at 135. We had the first change was 27.2 to my recollection, put us at 149.2, and then this one fiscal impact is 38.720, and that includes a contingency of 10%.
Before I go any farther, can I have a motion, because I forgot to ask that earlier.
So move, Mr. Chair.
And a second motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Just for my own knowledge, I don't have any problem with the adjustment. It's gonna have to get done. We have the buildings removed. I know we originally purchased Camp St. Mary's, then we put it into Royal and Critical Land. And then this whole project, do we know how much we are in total between the purchase and the demo? And then what's next?
Address that? Sure. All right. So when we say purchase, the most recent transaction was the county purchasing it from itself. So we took rural and critical money and bought it from the county's general inventory and then reallocated that 2 million for site improvements. The original purchase back in the 90s was $500,000.
Okay.
So with the $180-ish thousand for demo, we are under contract and currently doing site design and working through a very long list of boxes that need to be checked to get state permits before we can start construction. And I think that was.
And we'll have a price for that after we do it.
It's already approved, that's under contract. We did that about, I don't know, how much was it?
The design is under contract.
Yeah, how much was that one?
I do not have that number.
How much is that number?
Just put it right in front of
How much of that number? It wasn't anywhere near 500,000. But I can tell you, when you start working through these state projects.
No, I believe it. I was curious.
I can tell you that the rules are different for government than they are for private sector.
Right.
And they are very, very restricted. So you have to go through a number of different layers of bureaucracy through the state to get these permits, and it's very time consuming. So when you see some of these numbers, it's a lot.
Well, so I think that needs to change. That's just a policy thing down the road, but.
I wish it was easier.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any objection?
No objection, just quickly, you met with the community?
Yes, sir.
You said they were very receptive. Well, I guess that would be under Stephanie right now, as far as that park, or is that?
So yes, it is passive parks, yes.
It is a passive park.
So they had some concerns, certainly because there's so much that's going on behind the scenes and little activity out there, and they knew that the demolition contractor had been on site and then had pulled off. So they were concerned about certainly progress on it. We gave them an explanation as to understanding the process going through with the state, understanding the demolition process and how things like this can happen. It is a long and tedious process sometimes when going through, especially through CZC, because the plans will then go out to different state agencies that then say, hey, we want you to look at this, or we want you to do this. And it can be quite cumbersome. They had some other concerns as well as far as drainage. We had public works there as well. And so as a whole, we kind of met with the community on different topics, not only just the Camp St. Mary's Park, but.
Is there a person in that group that you can communicate with, or?
Yes, there is. I believe his name was Jerry. I'm not sure of his last name, but we do have an email that has been going back and forth, and there is an open line of communication, absolutely.
They're very active and very concerned.
Passionate as well. Absolutely, yes. Yes. So I think that we addressed their concerns, and like I said, it was a very, very productive meeting, and we have a path forward, and that was what matters.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we don't, no objection?
Yes.
And I see no objection, and that does bring us to the end of our meeting. We will call it at 5:17. Thank you, guys.